I swear that's greatness, greatness, greatness. You look into my eyes, you can see what I see. If you can say the world won't be the same without me. Now we call that greatness, greatness. That's a blessing. But wait a second. Look, while we on the subject, let me ask a question.
Hello and welcome to the Uzzi Sports Show. I'm Jared Veluzzi, and joining me today, Tess Calabria, do-it-all lacrosse player at St. Anthony's High School in the class of 2024. Tess, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, and this summer has been, wild with, all the events that you've been to after a great high school season. But prior to all of that, your freshman year at St. Anthony's, you were actually called up to varsity, and it's really not often that you see that over there for the Friars. So what was the experience like playing on the St. Anthony's varsity team just as a freshman?
I think freshman year, it was definitely I was nervous and excited at the same time going into it because I got the chance to play with a lot of epic lacrosse players, and we have a big team, which makes it competitive in practice every day. But just kind of getting thrown right into it and playing some good teams, I really had a great time with my team last year.
Yeah, freshman year was great, but then we go to your sophomore year, and that's really where the fun began because you guys, your schedule really expanded. You played against all those national teams. That's why you go to St. Anthony's. So, how was it going against the McDonoughs and the Darians on your schedule?
It definitely brought a different level of practice and energy compared to freshman year. Freshman year was a little bittersweet because we had an undefeated season, but we didn't really have that competition key that we had this year. And I think going to our first competitive game against McDonough, it really it brought us to the next level. Every day in practice, we had to work hard. Now we had to work extra hard, because we had to be on our toes for who we were playing next.
Yeah, and after, those big games, of course, you have the championship in the Catholic League, and that's always the big stage. Everyone has those games circled, whether it's the boys of St. Anthony's and Chaminade or the girls game. You guys played Sacred Heart this year, and you really stepped up when it mattered most. So, take me through that performance.
I think part of the whole team's performance and my performance was the prior week. We only beat them by one in a really close game. And then we had a couple of days of practice where we worked really hard and we were kind of on a mission on the bus ride. I remember us as a team, Ava, Abby, all of them, we were just really determined to blow them out of the park because it was of the week before. And then as soon as you got on the field, it was kind of you didn't think about your performance, you're just doing it. And I think that's when our team really came together for it was the end of the season, but it was for the first time, we just it was flawless. Everything was working, everything was clicking on all cylinders, which I think we were so thankful for our coaches that prepared us for that. And it was just it was such a fun experience.
Yeah, the offense was unreal. And, you mentioned Ava B and Cardi, she's headed to Duke, and a lot of people are really excited to see the combination you two would have together. And, they saw it your freshman year a little bit, but they really got to see it your sophomore year. What was the key to forming such an amazing duo?
Ava's my big at school, and we have bigs and littles on our team, and she's been a great role model, and I was so lucky to play with her. And I think we just connected. We had really good chemistry. I always saw her in the middle. She was a great target. She really could handle anything, and I was just blessed to play with her.
It's the first ever juniors open for the girls, and the rosters were loaded. Talent all over the nation. How was it over there in Jersey, and how'd you really stack up against some of the best competition in America?
I think it was cool to see it because a Long Island, it's we play Long Island a lot, and to expand across the country, it's really cool to see each other against different players. And the talent at Juniors Open was insane. I was everyone that. You played against Travel, we played against them the week before, and it was cool to be on teams and being coached by some of the coaches that you play against for Travel, and the competition was just insane.
Yeah, not only the players, a lot of the coaches as well, legendary coaches, including Tracy Weiner, who I know is a legend from, her high school coaching days. I know she also coaches you in club. So, how's that experience, learning from one of the best coaches out there?
I love Tracy. I met her in probably 7th grade when I joined Yellow Jackets, and ever since then, she's been just such a great coach, and she's hard on us, but like I love that type of coach, and it just pushes, like it brings the best out of you, and she really gets the best out of all her players. And like she's like the same person on and off the field. Like you could always count on her.
Yeah, and one thing that I've noticed with, you on the club circuit or on the high school field is you're really all over the place, doing a little bit of everything. I mean, how important is your versatility part of your game?
I think it's important to me because a lot of people like just look at goals and like those kind of things. But I think like I could think back to a lot of club seasons where like our defenders knocked down passes, and it's just like it's what ended up getting us the ball in the offensive end to win us the game. So I think like you never know what play is going to be the difference in like the game, like the outcome of the game.
And with you being a 2024, of course, September 1st is, the big day circled on everyone's calendars. That's when college coaches can really contact you. But obviously, one of the first questions they ask is, what's your GPA? Classroom's such a big part of it. But for you, that's not really an issue. I believe it's a 4.0 GPA. So, how important are the academics?
I think like academics say, I think all across the board, all the coaches I've had, they've all said that you're the student before the athlete. And I think especially for St. Anthony's, we really took that to heart. Like I think my whole team, it was like up there in the 4.0s for St. Anthony's. We just all work so hard in the classroom because like we don't have to worry about it when we're on the field.
It kind of just felt like not too long ago, when you were that freshman on varsity, but the spotlight kind of was on you then, and it still is on you now. How have you really dealt with those expectations and still performed at such a high level?
I think one of the probably best pieces of advice I got was like you kind of have to play for yourself. Like not you can't play for the expectations, because if you play like how you can play, then everything else will fall into place. And I think just not being stressed and going into it kind of confident, knowing that you could do it is like what the outcome will be like the best. And I think playing for your teammates, which my St. Anthony's coaches preach all the time, like do it for the girls around you, even if you're not having the best day. And then I think all the expectations will end up working themselves out.
What are some of your goals that, you and your teammates have for that big 2023 season?
I think we definitely want to get another crack at some of the teams that we had lost to this year, like McDonough and Darien. And that's like we have them circled on our calendar, and I think we're going to work hard this year, like in the off season in our winter leagues. And it's just like something that we want to get done again, because like we had the chance to play them last year, but we weren't like as prepared as we are going to be this year, because we were coming off COVID and we weren't like the competition just wasn't as good as this year, and we weren't ready for it, I don't think. But we were ready for it towards the end of the season.
Yeah, a lot of people are really going to look forward to those games. St. Anthony's against the big out-of-state schools, but you've been playing a lot of lacrosse, obviously in the spring and the summer. What's one aspect of your game that you really think has grown and for people to really keep an eye out for when it comes time for your junior season?
I think that grew during my sophomore year was the draw controls. I like kind of got thrown into on the circle, and then by the end of the season, I ended up leading the league in draw controls, and I think that really improved during the year with St. Anthony's and in the summer.
And Tess, there's one question that I always have to ask everyone that comes on my show. If you can add one game on your schedule, and obviously with St. Anthony's, you guys play a national schedule in girls lacrosse. It could be against anyone in America. Who are you picking and why?
McDonough, because we played them last year, and we didn't have the best first half against them, but we really started coming out in the second half, just not with enough time left. And I just think that we need a better shot at them. And I think it could be a great matchup this year.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited for that one. St. Anthony's and McDonough, it is happening once again. So I hope everyone gets the opportunity to watch that one. Tess, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. And everyone, if you like this content, make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. I'm Jared Veluzzi. Have a good one.
Thank you.